Hey everybody, we are back live from the DDLR Scholarship Softball Tournament. This is co-ed mushball, showing you a little bit of everything. We'll be back out at Country Club Hills a little later this afternoon. These are two of the better teams in this event. Fat Kids and Enemy. Of course, Enemy plays a lot of co-ed, and they do tend to come stacked up. So they're here, and we're going to show you a little co-ed in the shadows of Guaranteed Rate Field here on Chicago's South Side. So this is a nice little park tucked in a residential neighborhood. Lake is about maybe a mile or less to the east of us, and just a pleasant, delightful day, low humidity. So leading off here for Enemy, again, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of guys who play major softball out here moonlighting and relaxing and just kind of getting away from the stress of playing high-level softball. So we're going to get our scorecards in place, and we're going to be ready to go. And again, they got a DJ playing excessively loud music. So I apologize for the background noise. And that's why we're over here. The way the sun is doesn't really matter, but it is pretty loud. So it's going to be Cha-Cha Golden leading off. Then it'll be Al Rice and Ashley Lentine. Of course, Ashley Lentine, the only woman to play in an SSA Major National Championship tournament. So we just showed you the scholarship presentation, Brian Korenkowski. Brian, a man of few words, but he got through it okay. So a little change of pace here. Again, the women players have the option of wearing a glove. The men play barehanded. And this is not like a 14-inch softball that you see that is rock hard. This is a softer ball. And there he chops it on the ground. Short center, nice play, but Cha-Cha, a little too much speed. Short center made a nice play to get to the ball, but she was a little contorted, couldn't get herself into a good throwing position. So brings up Al Rice. Of course, Al from the Hex team, Cha-Cha from High Y. And there's a little flare to right field, and that's going to drop. Right fielder gets it in quickly, Brandon Molina, and Cha-Cha's going to score from first base with the first run of the ball game. So, of course, Al is a big, strong hitter. We do have a wind blowing, feels like a cross breeze left to right. And he's going to look for a courtesy runner. And here's Ashley Lentine. Runner on first, nobody out, one run in. And Ashley swings and she hits a ball, and Jazz Golden, the courtesy runner, easily makes it into second. So Enemy has come out swinging here. First three hitters all reached, one run in, and it brings up Gardner Huff. You might hear me refer to him as man during the game. That pitch a little deep. They are using a mat here, 60-foot bases. And Jazz is dancing over at second base. He likes the music. You can see he's doing a little dancing over there. And there's a drive to center, and that's over the top. That's going to roll all the way onto the other diamond. One run is in. Ashley Lentine is going to score. Man takes the turn. The relay to nobody in particular. 3-run homer. Gardner Huff launched it over to center fielder. So quick 4-0 lead here for the Fat Kids, or for Enemy. And it brings up Kate Albert. And I saw Kate taking batting practice. She's a switch hitter. She started out hitting left-handed and then started hitting the ball right-handed. And there's a little flare. Center fielder is there, and he puts it away. So Luke makes the catch in center, first out of the inning. Again, this is a memorial fundraiser for helping people out with scholarships. And here's Jack Doss. You might recognize Jack. He played on those YTD teams, and I believe he's with the Shooters now. And there's a little ground ball up the middle. Short center gobbles it up and makes the play for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Michelle Rodriguez. We covered the co-ed stuff out in Aurora over the winter, and Michelle was just on fire. Also, I think she played a little bit in intentional sports, and there's a little soft flare to left field. And Chucky Regaldo plays on the 45s. Now, there is a little bit of a notable defection here. It's Trey Johnson. Plays on high Y. He's played with this Enemy team in the past, but he's playing with the Fat Kids today. So we got a lot of softball coming up. This coming week we'll be at the Nicky Lopez tournament. And then we will also be at Papa Hops. We'll be at the SSA Class B National Championship Tournament. Theme of that tournament is Playing for Peace. And then, of course, we'll be out at the Terry Moran. We're going to try to squeeze that in somehow. And we'll be doing a preview show of the Class B Playing for Peace National Championship Tournament this week. But we'll also be doing the draw live tomorrow. So Fat Kids coming up in a 4-0 hole. Here's Alberto Magana. They also call him Chulo leading off. Chucky on deck, and then Amanda. So he swings, ground ball, wicked hop. Doss stayed with it and makes the play for out number 1. So he hit it hard. The ball catapulted off of the turf. Jack Doss hung right in there and made the play. Here's Chuck Regaldo. So if you're not doing anything and you're anywhere near the south side, stop by. They got food out here. Make a donation. And Chucky fouls out. Can't hit a foul ball with 2 strikes. So 2 out, nobody on. It brings up Amanda. And she swings off of Chris Harris. Tough play. She beats it out. Chris tried to kick it over. Didn't have enough. Ashley doing the stretch there. Hope she's okay. Grabbing her groin a little bit. She was fully extended there. So 1 out base runner for Anthony Misek, also known as Noach. And there's a drive into right center, but right at Cha-Cha Golden. And man in center field, he's dancing too. So we head to the top of the second, 4-0, Enemy. So leading off here is going to be Jazz Golden, then Nora McDonald and Chris Harris. And I see Kenny Apt has grabbed the bat. So they're going to be hitting with Kenny Apt for Chris Harris. And there's an overhand chop. Short center makes the play. I tell you, she got a pretty good glove over there. She's been snagging everything. Brings up Nora McDonald. She takes a walk, so 1 out base runner, pinch hitter Kenny Apt, and they tend to do that. Chris normally pitches the first half of the ball game, and then Kenny does finish up on the hill quite a bit for Enemy. Home plate jumping around. Cha-Cha Golden on deck. And he sweeps a base hit. Molina gets on it quickly. So 2 on here, top of the Enemy lineup coming up now. And now they're going to courtesy run with Jazz Golden for Kenny Apt. Got a nice crowd here. Everybody got their tents. And there's an overhand base hit. Nora McDonald hustling into third. Bases are now loaded. So 1 out here, bases loaded for Al Rice. Al flipped a single into right field his last time up. And they are playing him plenty deep. Let's see if he tries to flip again or if he tries to drive something this time up. And he hammers it in the short center right on the spot again. Two line drives hit at the short center, and they didn't get the memo on the enemy team because that girl can pick it. So here's Ashley Lentine, singled her last time up. This would be a big defensive stand if they can get Ashley out to get out of this inning with no damage. Might give him a little juice. And Ashley hits a soft fly ball. Brandon is there, puts it away. So they load the bases with one out and they don't score. We head to the bottom of the second. Still 4-0. So we hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend wherever you're at. And if you're tuning in, we appreciate you checking it out. So it's going to be, I believe it's going to be Lexi, Trey, and Alex. Fat kids need to get rolling here a little bit. It's only the bottom of the second. They got plenty of time, but enemy is certainly looking hitterish in this ball game. This is a winner's bracket game. And there's a little soft fly ball. Man comes over and makes the catch. And that'll bring up Trey Johnson. And there's a spinner foul, landing just short of a 10th over there. Trey swings and he delivers. He goes oppo. 1 out base runner. It's going to bring up Alex. Luke on deck, and then Brandon Molino. And there's a little soft line drive that's going to be handled out there by Jazz Golden. 2 out, brings up Luke.
Hey, I've been trying. Hey, I swear I've been trying, bro. I know. I've been trying for like 2 weeks.
So Trey talking to his high-Y teammate there, Jazz Golden. And Luke hits it on the ground through the hole. Trey will get to third. They'll throw it into second. Runners on the corners now with 2 outs for Brandon Molina. It's a big opportunity here for the Fat Kids to get on the board.
Just take off.
Chris Harris grabs a strike. Brandon swings, high fly ball, cruising under it is Man, and he puts it away, so the mini threat goes by the board. And Man is kind of high stepping, so is Jazz. We saw after High Y won the SSA Gold Rush National Men's Major last year in Joliet, Jazz was in left field, and a dance party's broken out here at Armour Square. I think if I tried to do that, I'd hurt myself. So leading off, it's going to be Man. Be followed by Kate. Who's that? Cat. Kate. K-A-I-T. And then Jack Doss. 4, 5, 6. Still 4-0. I believe we're in the top of the third here. And there's a little soft pop-up. Chulo calls for it, makes the catch. I think Brandon would have made it as well, but he called it all the way. So it's pretty obvious that Kate Olbert has played softball. She swings and she dumps a hit, but Luke is right there, makes the catch. Center fielder was cheating. Good looking swing. And Kate's not too happy that he came in and robbed her of a hit. Brings up Jack Doss. So 2 up, 2 down relatively quickly here. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Short center picks it up, throws him out. Again, they didn't get the memo. They keep picking on her, and she keeps picking it and throwing him out. So we head to the bottom of the third, 4-0. So it's going to be Izzy on the top for the Fat Kids, trailing 4-0. And there's a little pop-up. And that'll be a strikeout, and now she's got to do the mandatory Malort. I know you're a big fan of that Malort. There's Tommy Lentine's wife, and we'd like to give a shout out to Frank Lentine Sr. For those of you who know, he had a little bit of a health issue, and Chulo drives it into right center, and he'll stop at second. Had a little bit of an issue, but he's doing well. Talked to him the other day. He was in great spirits, looking forward to getting discharged. Got a little dehydrated and had an issue. So, Frank, if you're out there watching, we're glad you're okay. So here's Chuck Regaldo, hits it at Nora McDonald, and she makes the play. I think that's the misnomer sometimes in co-ed. Guys will think they can take advantage of the women players, but the women players tend to be good, and in this co-ed you can't win unless you have good women players. So here's Amanda, and she hits a little flipper. Doss makes the catch. We'll head to the top of the fourth, 4-0, Enemy. Little dusty here at Armour Square. You see a lot of people with their tents out down really both foul lines. This is kind of a neighborhood, and there they are. They're having a good time. Manny Sanchez has his team over there. So Michelle Rodriguez is going to be leading off. Well, Chuck, the women players get to use a mitt. The men do not. And they're disputing whether or not there was a strike there. They are using a mat. And I tell you, they use very small mats. So if you're a hitter today, even with the mat, there's really tough on a pitcher. So here's Michelle, little ground ball, Anthony Misek, little pitch and catch for the first out of the inning. They'll bring up Jazz Golden, Nora McDonald on deck. Of course, 14 co-ed mush becoming more popular here in the Chicagoland area. And there's a little pop-up. Noach comes in and makes the catch for out number 2. And of course, the SSA, we do run the 14-inch co-ed mushball national championship toward the end of September. So if you're interested in putting a team in, reach out to us. That pitch is a little... Can't tell if he called that a strike or not. So Dusty having a hard time seeing the plate over there. And there's a little soft pop-up. Chuck Regaldo puts it away. So halfway through, 4-0, Enemy. Right now, Fat Kids just can't seem to string a few hits together. Of course, Enemy scored all their runs in the top of the first. They did leave the bases loaded with one out. Failed to score. So Anthony Misek, Lexi, and Trey, 4, 5, 6 coming up for the Fat Kids. Well, that's not unusual. Some of the city parks, they're a little challenged when it comes to maintenance. Anthony Misek fouls that way out of play. So Chris Harris on the verge of walking Anthony Misek, and that's huge because in 14 mush, if you walk a guy and there's a female on deck, she automatically has the option of swinging or taking a base. So there's Trey Johnson now. Nobody out now. This kind of represents the best threat for the Fat Kids as they got one of their best hitters up now. And he tries to go big. He pulls that way out of play. Trey trying to go over the top of Cha-Cha. He'd probably be better off trying to hit a line drive into a gap. And there he does splash it toward the alley. Noach is going to try to score, and he never got to the plate. He never got to the plate. He did sweep his hand across the mat, but not the plate. I don't believe he got the plate. The original tag by Michelle was no good. She stayed with it. It looked to me like he overslid home and may not have touched it. Umpire looking right at it. No run. I don't know if he thought they were going to play on him, but they did. Down 4-0. Sometimes you got to just say, hey, we got the bases loaded and go from there. And Kenny App doing a little maintenance. He must umpire somewhere. He had his own brush. So here's Alex, and she delivers a hit. And now throwing Noach out at home becomes even more. Now the throw gets away. Good job by Trey Johnson baiting man into a throw. But that's a perfect example. They do score their first run. To cut it to 4-1. Had they not sent Noach, they would have been in a good spot here. As it is, it's second and third, one out here. As Alex delivers a base hit. And that'll bring Luke up. And they're playing Luke deep. Base hit here might score two and make this a one-run ball game. Brandon Molina on deck. And he hits a little knuckleball. It's caught. Second run will score. 4-2 ball game. He brings up Brandon Molina. Izzy on deck. Now, if you're Chris, you want to make sure that you pitch to Izzy, or pitch to Brandon. And Brandon, line drive base hit, he comes through, 4-3 ball game. So he just sat back and drilled it up the middle, base hit, 4-3. So Fat Kids have tightened this game up here. And brings up Izzy. I don't think she realized she was up, but here she comes. And there's a little soft fly ball. Jack Doss will handle it, but Fat Kid's pushed 3 across. We'll have to make note of Noach getting thrown out. Never want to make the first out at third or home. And we'll see if that comes into play. Again, with all the dust there, couldn't tell if he swiped across the plate. I think that's what the umpire's saying. So Kenny App is going to hit for Chris Harris. He will be out of the ball game. So we head to the top of the 5th. This game is tightened up. So it'll be 10-1-2 coming up. Cha-Cha Golden on deck and then Al Rice. And there's a wicked line drive. He drives it into the outfield. Leadoff man on. And here comes the courtesy runner, Jazz Golden. So Fat Kids had a 4-0 lead. It's been shrunk to 1. Chris, 5th inning? Yeah. So Brandon Molina coming in. I think he's asking about the courtesy runner, but man, look at my lineup card. If they do allow courtesy runners, Jazz is the last preceding male, because they're not going to make a female run for a male.
Y lo que más me gusta de aquí es algo que canta así.
Now the only question could be who made the last out last inning. Of course, it was Nora. Hits before Kenny. Then you got Jazz Golden, and then the next male would be Jack Doss. So if Jazz got a hit last inning, then Jack Doss should be running. And Jack runs okay, but this guy's a Panther. So they got it squared away. And here's the top of the lineup with Cha-Cha. 4-3 ball game, top of the fifth. And that pitch just cleared the point and hit the mat. Chacha thought it was a little heavy. And there's a hard and Note steals it. Double play. Jazz thought it was going to get over the top. Note's a tall kid. Reached up with one hand, kind of punched it up in the air to himself, and it was all over once he caught it. So leadoff single wiped out. Here's Al Rice. And that's a walk. Ashley Lentino also walked. Now it brings up Mann. And that's tough there. You got 2 outs, you got the great double play, and now you find yourself with 2 on. And Mann smokes it fair down the line. So the walk comes in big. His enemy picks up a run and brings up Kate Albert. So it's okay to pitch carefully to Al, but with 2 outs and nobody on, you want him swinging. You don't want to put you in that position, and Brandon Molina jogs over and makes the catch. But in the inning, enemy picks up a little insurance. We head to the bottom of the 5th, 5-3. So Fat Kids trailing here in the bottom of the 5th. Looks like that they're at the top of the lineup here. Chulo, Chucky, and Amanda. Chulo, little soft pop-up. Al Rice almost dropped it. Then he placed it into Nora's glove as he didn't really secure it clean. So bottom of the 5th here. And Chuck Rigaldo drives it out to center, but Mann is there. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Amanda. And there's a little soft fly ball, and Cha-Cha puts that away. We head to the top of the sixth. So I'm going to take a quick break, grab some water here. Kenny App, a little ground ball over to Trey. Throws it left-handed. 2 runs are going to score. And now Kenny App is going to go to third. That'll make it 7-3. So the Walks have played a pivotal role. Somebody give me a sound check. I think it's on. So the last 2 innings, two guys have walked, and it's really hurt the Fat Kids as they're down by 4 again. And here's Cha-Cha. And there's a little cut. Trey Johnson not in time. And I think he wanted to throw his teammate out. But Jack Doss, he could have easily flipped a note at third there, I think. So here's Al Rice. And Al pounds it. And there's another high throw. Another run scores. 8-3. Fat Kids defense. A little shaky this inning. Brings up Ashley Lentine. So the Fat Kids have been struggling offensively. A little loose with the softball here. Now they find themselves with the biggest deficit of the day, 5, here in the top of the 6th. And Ashley dumps into center. Luke makes the catch, but they push a few more across. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Enemy in control here, 8-3. So Anthony Mysek, Lexi and Trey trailing by 5. 4, 5, 6 here. And if you're the Fat Kids, obviously you'd like to tie or take the lead here, but you're going to make your 7th inning awful difficult if you don't chop into this somehow. And now Kenny App falling behind Anthony Mysek. Grabs a strike there, full count, I believe. And there's a long fly ball, cruising back and making the catch. Man. And he starts dancing. I'ma do my stuff. Why you feeling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? I tell you, him and Jazz are having a good time out there. It's like a dance-off. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. So here's Lexi. There's a little ground ball. Ashley sat on it, made the play. 2 up, 2 down. It's not gone. Take the stories how you want. Ain't straight, they're not slow. Rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further, I promise. Ain't that so deep? It's forbidden. Get mad at people. You pop like that. It's rate of song. Since 2009, I had this dish coming. Get rich. You can still be your boxes. Trey trying to go big. Skies one. And Cha-Cha's certainly getting the bragging rights over Trey today. Top of the 7th. 8-3. Enemy. So leading off, it's going to be Man, Kate, and then Jack Dawes. man's dancing in the box. And man just sits back and almost hits the girl running across the field. He's going to dig and go to second, just beats it. And now Kate Albert is going to switch around and she's going to hit right-handed. She hits a little pop-up to Chulo. Here's Jack Doss. Runner on second, one out. Jack hits a pop-up. Chulo calls for it, makes the play. Out number 2. And this is a pinch hitter, Aaron Stanton, hitting for Michelle Rodriguez, who looked like she tweaked an ankle. And there's a little ground ball to Noach. And that'll do it. So we go to a do-or-die bottom of the 7th. Fat Kids trailing by 5. So it's going to be Alex, Luke, and Brandon here. They need 5 to extend the game. 6 would win the game. Anything less, and this ball game is over. And she airmails it. Jazz tried to make a one-handed catch, down 5. She took a chance and made it. Kenny App on the snag, and that'll do it. So Enemy wins 8-3. They advance. So let's try to have a little fun here real quick. So man, who's got the better moves, you or Jazz?
Jazz a little younger than me, but he's not much. I got old school moves.
Said he's got old school moves. He said Jazz is younger. So, very diplomatic answer. So we hope you enjoyed the coverage. We'll be back with more softball from the Louis Bo Blanchard Memorial Tournament.